It's that time of the week again, everybody. Monday's come around and it's playoffs time. NDSU tipping off against SDSMT. This is a repeat match from last time these two teams met. The School of Mines had a better record than NDSU going into the week, but NDSU tied things up. So here we are in what we're calling sort of the play-in match to get to the LAN. So teams are readying up, but we are familiar with both teams now. NDSU has had to make a roster change. BMed is no longer able to play with the team. He's not going to be able to make it to the LAN. So that means that Desirous Kitten is filling in. Now this guy is a Plat 2 jungler. He's known as a bit of a two-trick between Evelyn and Rengar. But he is definitely still very versed and a very aggressive style jungler. He's sort of like your carry style jungler. So a bit of a different play style than NDSU is going to be used to. And I'll be very interested to see how things roll with kind of this new jungler. As we all know, jungle is a very important part on the map, and communication is also a really big part. So keep that in mind as we watch the games today, and let's hope that the guys have put in the practice and can figure things out, because last time NDSU did pull out the victory, but it was 2-1. So it's definitely still a bit of an even match between these two teams. With the last few bans coming through here, NDSU putting a lot of focus on those bot lane champions between the Jhin and the Xayah. Xayah definitely always a good ban. She's so dang safe, I swear. But it is interesting that they have banned it out. Usually you'll see teams on blue side just first pick Xayah, but they must have something else in mind, hoping that they're going to get one of Desirous Kitten's junglers, and it looks like they are, as two mid lane bans and a top lane ban go down from the School of Mines. So Evelyn and Rengar are both up. I don't know how well they work in this sort of competitive format, but we'll have to see. Zeri locked in, so that's kind of the next priority pick in the bot lane after Xayah. Pairs really well with several different enchanters supports. Fresh Cut had been practicing it in the tournament this weekend, if anybody tuned into that. So Zeri Yuumi, definitely a strong duo, kind of inevitable to scale into the late game. School of Mines hovering the J4 though. All reliable, still up and available, so they will grab that one. Potentially looking for sort of that team fight comp, and there it is. Yeah, so the Jinx locked in as well, so lots of really strong team fight from the School of Mines already. And as we predicted there's the Yuumi. So Zeri Yuumi combo locked in for NDSU's bot lane. We haven't really seen them play that much. Kind of opted for more of the hyperscaling. They put a little bit of Jinx, they put a little bit of Xayah. I haven't seen a lot of Zeri, I don't think. But there is the Evelyn locked in for Desirous Kitten. So able to get on one of his comfort picks. And we'll see how he's able to do in a more competitive format. School of Mines finishing off the first round of picks with Nautilus. Kind of help with those engages onto the Zeri, lock her down. And then in response, Malphite ban coming down from NDSU and a Kled ban on the other side. So lots of top lane bans just going to be focused down here. And surprisingly, no bot lane bans against NDSU. Either School of Mines just doesn't feel like it's worth it, or they're more afraid of the mages for Storm Stars. So we'll see if they ban out the Azir here. And it's going to be the Cassante instead, so they must have something in mind that they want top lane, and those two champions definitely play well into it. We did see Josh Peck last I don't know if it was last week. I don't even remember how long ago it was, but the last time these two teams played, kind of insane gameplay from him. He popped off on the Kled, the Camille. I mean, you put this guy on anything, he's going to carry you. And you know that NDSU is hopefully looking to get him on a carry, but they don't really have a front line right now. So he might be forced to go on tank duty, which isn't exactly the look that we're hoping they'd be going for tonight. The Akali ban comes through. You know, I don't know how well that really would have worked with the team fight, or with the team fight comp that the School of Mines has, but if it is a comfort pick for their mid laner, it's not a bad thing to take away. But yeah, there it is. Orianna Death Ball. I mean, School of Mines just press R. That is all they have to do this game, and it's so easy to pull off. And it's honestly kind of annoying to play against, just because NDSU will have to play a little more difficult of a comp to pull off. But they do get the Azir for Stormstars, so another comfort pick going over to NDSU, and I'm sure he's happy to have that. And we'll see what they rounded out with in the top lane. They definitely need a front line here, and maybe like a Scion pick or an Ornn would be good here. But instead, NDSU just doubles down and goes Camille. So a lot of isolated damage from NDSU. Obviously, the Zeri can pop off in a team fight, but they are extremely squishy on the front line. I don't know who's going to be able to face check bushes if they fall behind in this game. I mean, Evelyn can definitely kind of lurk around with her invisibility, and like Yuumi definitely provides some shielding and healing, but this is going to be an uphill battle for NDSU regardless of what the top lane pick is here. So it is the Jax, and they got the counter pick into the top lane. So NDSU kind of digging themselves into a tough position here. But we all know what they're capable of, and that's all that matters, you know? How can they play together? You know, if we can get another top gap like we had last series, it may not matter at all, but I genuinely think if the School of Mines is able to just group up, it's going to be real hard for NDSU. Now, we have started the prediction in the chat, so go ahead and drop your predictions there. But yeah, I mean, I would obviously give the edge over to the School of Mines for their draft. You know, it's just a lot easier to pull off with the J4 ult, with the Orianna ult, and then Nautilus lockdown on the Zeri. So ultimately, very good draft by them, very straightforward and easy. I mean, I'm sure we've seen this draft a million times across all kinds of different platforms. And NDSU leaning more towards comfort, and we'll see how Razzle Dazzler does on this Zeri. Still takes somebody that's good at positioning and good at carrying team fights to pilot that champion properly into the mid to late game. But with that being said, we are going to go to a brief break with the spectator delay. And when we get back, we'll have game one for you.
Got a little Swedish there. Yeah. delicious.
All right, as the final seconds go on the delay, we prepare ourselves for game 1 of NDSU versus SDSMT. This is game 1 of best of 3. And it's going to be a close one, I think. I think NDSU did pull out the victory last time these two teams matched up, but SDSMT coming in with a good game plan. Just kind of going for that team fight comp, that death ball comp. And NDSU, they have a new jungler as well, so it's kind of an uphill battle for them. They did get some comfort picks on the Azir and the Evelynn, but only time will tell if that ends up working out for them. Looks like SDSMT is pinging to 5-stack mid lane, looking for that Nautilus hook. NDSU should know that this is happening. This is pretty standard, but we'll see if Stormstar's face checks into it. So he does spot them all, so he is safe to go. Oh, what is Zerskin is that? That Zerskin's kind of cool. I've never seen that one before. Must be a chroma or something. But definitely watch the J4 in the early game here. He's probably the strongest jungler in the early game. Well, probably not the strongest, but one of the strongest, definitely in the meta. His level 2 ganks are dangerous if you are not aware of them and not warding for them. And speaking of wards, he has warded the blue buff of NDSU, and they are not aware at the moment. Now, regardless of if Deciros Kitten starts blue, he'll know, that he's at least not on it. So, Deciros is going to head down bot side to start the red buff. Meanwhile, Disabled Rat is going to start the red buff on his side. Not taking a leash, so you see Edjo sitting in the bush there looking for some early cheese on Josh Peck. And reminder, Edjo did get the counter pick this game, and I think it must have been a response to just what Josh Peck did to him in the last series, just dumpstering him. I mean, he had Flame Horizons pretty much every game. I don't know what happened game 1, I don't remember, but Josh Peck, definitely the strong point of this NDSU roster, and it was smart from SDSMT to save their counter pick for top lane. But it might not matter. We'll see. I think both these bot lanes are going to be looking to just scale up, if I had to guess. If anything, it's going to be on NDSU's bot lane to try to play more aggressively before this Jinx can get huge. Because Zeri, honestly, level 2 is pretty dang strong. But they do not hit level 2 first, so Mointment and Ultra Bug are going to kind of push them off the way a little bit there. But Josh Peck trading here with Edjo, but honestly, Edjo not doing a lot of damage with those counter strikes, and I don't really know if that's the way you want to play out the lane. I don't know if using counter strike to like start fights or do damage is really important. it's in the name. You usually want to use it as a counter to somebody engaging on you, so that'll be something to keep an eye on the top side. Now, interesting pathing from Desiro's Kitten. He cleared his bot side, did his wolves, and then he was maybe looking mid lane. But opts to go to his red, but the hook shot misses there from Josh Peck. Now, the School Mines has spotted Desiro's Kitten on his Gromp, and now J4 looking for that early gank mid. Does not hit the knock-up, just barely times that one out from Stormstar, so good job by him to get out of that. And he's always been a very good mid laner as far as soaking up pressure and reading those ganks. And he's very comfortable on this Azir. He always knows how to get out of there with his E, so NDSU's bot lane getting pushed in here early. Meanwhile, Desiro's Kitten was on a ward, and Disabled Rat is going in, hits the EQ combo, and Desiro's Kitten's going to have to flash out of this one, but I don't think it matters. The flash response from Disabled Rat will pick that kill up. So the early pressure from Edjo in top lane actually allowed him to drop a ward, and it must not have been communicated by NDSU because they did track him, but the Soul Laner's trying to follow here, but not able to pick him up. So good job by SDSMT to track NDSU's jungler. It's very important to keep this Evelynn down in the early game. Razzle Dazzler staying plenty healthy here with this Yuumi, but Freshcut is falling somewhat. He's been spamming those Qs to just try to keep up the pressure. Meanwhile, Stormstar is falling a little bit low in mana himself, but also keeping up the pressure. Disabled Rat very active in the early game, looking for a top lane gank. Josh Peck does not have a ward. He does have flash this game, though. Hook is just going to miss there on Razzle Dazzler. And Evelynn has built a Dark Seal already. So Desiro's Kitten, like I said, a very aggressive jungler, bets on himself. And you can see that early right now. I'm sure this is something he does pretty much every game. Get that Dark Seal. Hope that you can start getting some kills and assists and start stacking that thing up, because provided he doesn't get tracked throughout the jungle throughout the game, he should be fine. Once you hit 6, that's really where Evelynn hits her power spike. So he's just going to be looking to kind of power farm early here. But with that being said, NDSU's jungler has started up the dragon. Disabled Rat is on his wolves at the moment, so he is somewhat nearby, but with the pressure bot lane, I think NDSU should be able to pick this one uncontested. SDSMT not looking to pressure this one. I'm sure they're just kind of looking to scale out this game between the Jinx and the Orianna. So J4 is pinging that he's coming here, and Desiro's Kitten falling dangerously low here. Does he have the smite? He does, so he's going to pick that one up, but now he falls to Disabled Rat, just pathed really greedily there. I mean, he didn't really have a way out of there, but team's not able to help him out there, so good collapse by Disabled Rat. Meanwhile, Edjo hits 6 early here, so he pops the ultimate, but can't continue the chase after the hook shot. So he is up in farm, so that is working out for him. You know, probably not going to get a Flame Horizon from Josh Peck this game. But yeah, I would have thought that Freshcut maybe would have wanted to jump on Desiro's Kitten there to maybe provide some help, but hard to say. Now Edjo going in here does land the stun, but the hook shot comes in, and then he pops the ult, but it's not enough damage. Edjo solo kill on Josh Peck, and he can't feel good about that one. He's already popped his TP, so the counter pick top lane working out for SDSMT. Up 3-0 at the moment, up about 1.5k in the early lane phase, and Disabled Rat's pressure really working out. Has gotten a couple kills on Desiro's Kitten already. This is kind of what I was talking about in the draft. You know, Evelynn, it might be his comfort pick, but how well does it work in a team setting? And so far, not a great debut for NDSU's new jungler. Still waiting for that level 6. Meanwhile, Edjo getting engaged on by 2 here, but he already gets Desiro's Kitten so low, and he's just going to pop him 1v2. Level 7 on this Jax already, but he wastes the flash. And gives the gold over to Stormstars, so at least the mid laner from NDSU had the roam faster, and honestly, I don't even think that's that bad for SDSMT still. I mean, this Jax is getting fairly far ahead. He's already up entire upgraded boots. He's got those steel caps finished. But definitely still big for NDSU to get a kill onto Stormstars, who is looking like he might need to be the strong point for NDSU this game, considering how top side of the map is going. Kind of like we predicted, nothing really crazy has gone on bot lane. I am a little surprised Razzle Dazzler decided to go with the barrier on Zeri. I was kind of thinking that Ghost would be better this game. Obviously, Cleanse is not the best. Now the scoop comes in from Stormstars. And the flash follow-up from Desirous Kitten should be able to pick that kill up. So mid laner from SDSMT falls, but Josh Peck dies again after another good gank from Disabled Rat. So they came in with a game plan to dumpster, to camp this top side of the map, and it is working out very well for the School of Mines. And I need to see Desirous Kitten really try to do more in the bot side of the map then, if that is what they want to do. You know, if all the pressure is going topside, then you need to look to play aggressively elsewhere. Now, Razzle Dazzler going aggressively here, but not really going to be able to do much against Nautilus. Now, Nautilus pops the ult, and honestly, they could bait a fight here, but that was just very suspect play there. Desirous Kitten is walking through lane here. Do they see him? Now, he is invis. It's kind of weird in spectator mode, but I don't think they can actually see him on that ward, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, looking at the map here, Stormstars did drop a ward on their blue buff, but I don't know if it's enough to hinder them. I mean, Disabled Rat just doing a great job counter jungling. He's been topside basically the whole game, and it's really worked out for him. 3-0 on the J4. Now, Desirous Kitten is mid. There's no flash on this Orianna, no ult either. The charm lands. Ult does not finish, though, and another kill goes over to Stormstars. Not bad. Meanwhile, Josh Peck getting bullied a little bit by Edjo on this Jax, but still holding his own, still staying pretty close in farm. But now Disabled Rat coming back, but this time he is on a ward. So Josh Peck should be able to get out of this one just fine. Holds on to his hook shot. Does not need to use it. And we all know how good Josh Peck is, whether he needs to play aggressively or safely. He does walk up and try to get that auto. Takes a lot of damage, gets knocked up as well, and that is a caster curse, folks. I am not sure what that was, but Josh Peck not looking like himself this game. I know he's been kind of camped, but that just kind of looked into me. I mean, just kind of walked right into two people, totally disrespected them, never even got a chance to pop his ultimate, getting hit by that EQ combo of J4. But yeah, I'm sure Desirous Kitten wishes that he got at least one of those kills mid lane. I mean, putting a lot of attention mid lane, trying to get Stormstars ahead here, and that's great. But I'm sure he would have liked to have... Oh, great combo by Stormstars goes in here. Now, Barca and Iniesta does have the ult, and there it is, but it's not enough damage. And Stormstars with the flash follow-up picks up a solo kill, and this Azir is massive. Just look at the gold. 4,700 to 2,900. Meanwhile, Razzle Dazzler getting a lot of damage down on Anointment. Now, they do have all sums, they do have ults and everything bot lane, but Stormstars, you know, I will say he's been kind of quiet in their last few games, just kind of doing his job. But this game, it is on him to be the carry for the team, and so far it is going very well for him. So SDSMT's bot lane just hit a back. That is Kraken Slayer completed for Jinx. So dead even in the bot lane, honestly. Like, just completely dead even in gold. Just a farm fest. SDSMT still has a gold lead. I'm sure most of that is just in the jungle. Yep. Jungle top, obviously, but it's only about 1k. Meanwhile, the Azir is very far ahead, so it's just the top side of the map that's been weak for NDSU, but I trust that they can kind of rally and get back into things. Desirous Kitten's done a good job of utilizing his pressure. Josh Peck goes back in. Edjo pops the ult, so great job by Josh Peck to get that out, but SDSMT, they had the back timers. They planned everything out a lot better around this dragon, so they're going to pick up their first dragon. NDSU did a good job of picking up their first one. It did mean that Desirous Kitten died earlier, but it was probably big that they got that kill just because I think J4 just trolled his combo over the wall. That was kind of weird. One dragon to one at the end of the day. NDSU just kind of opted not to go for that one. Razzle Dazzler misses the Q on the minion. But ultimately, both ADCs farming very well. Josh Peck looking aggressively now. Desirous Kitten is here for the backup. Edjo just popped Counter-Strike, but he jumps to a minion, so no follow-up is going to be there. Good heads-up play by him. And it does seem like School of Mines top laner is playing better, playing more heads-up this game. Meanwhile, Disabled Rat, really good job counter-jungling. NDSU was able to get a deep ward up near their Raptors on the top side of the map, but Desirous Kitten honestly staying pretty close in farm, all things considered. J4 is usually kind of hard to keep close with when he's ahead like he is. But really trying to be gank heavy on this Evelynn. Now this might be a tough angle. Edjo does have flash, but he engages in, so he doesn't have the W to get out. So that is going to be the flash, but the flash follow-up from Desirous Kitten comes in, and that is the execute, and that is the comfort. He knows the limits of his champion now, 5 stacks on that Dark Seal. Ever since those first few deaths from NDSU's jungler, he's making a comeback. So good mental game and just good commitment to keeping these solo lanes ahead for them. Now Disabled Rat is behind enemy lines here. Razzle Dazzler and Fresh Cut gonna have to play safe here. If they go aggressively here, it could go south for them. Reminder, Razzle Dazzler does not have Ghost. He does not have Cleanse. Not that Cleanse is really gonna do much for him, but they pop the ults. So those are those down. He does not have time to flash out, just gets CC chained, and that is a double kill. And NDSU just not using the knowledge on the map, not understanding that J4 could be there, and they fall to it easily. Now Stormstars has come to cover bot lane so that they cannot get this Jinx even further ahead. And honestly, I don't think Ghost would have saved Razzle Dazzler there either. But no exhaust or heal used by Fresh Cut there. Just kind of interesting decision making there. I would have liked to see him at least try to save his ADC and buy more time. But unfortunately, that did not work out for them. Stormstars goes in for another good engage there. Disabled Rat gets over the wall and Blast comes out, so Stormstars not going to be able to follow up. Thinking about going over the wall, but ultimately will not. Disabled Rat really having a good game. 4-0-2 on the J4, and this is exactly what they needed out of their jungler to get that top lane ahead, and now the bot lane as well. And ultimately this game, I really do think it's going to come down to the gap in front lines. NDSU does not have a front line. They don't really have anyone that can face check, that can walk at SDSMT, and with them being behind, it's hard for them to play aggressively too. I mean, SDSMT just groups up like this, and there's nothing NDSU can do. Definitely have to give that Herald over, but that does mean that Razzle Dazzler gets some free time in the bot lane, and Stormstars as well in the mid lane, so he sets up the soldier over the wall for his escape. Oh, and the ult from Orianna misses, so he takes the tower and actually gets out, so the heist is complete. Great job by Stormstars. You know, really good stuff by Stormstars this game. Herald is going to get popped mid, so most likely that tower is going to fall, unfortunately, for NDSU, but I honestly think that the trade there from NDSU was pretty worth for them, just considering the state of the map. You know, they are down about 1.5, 1.7k, but now TP gets canceled by Stormstars in the mid lane. He tried to save that tower, and Desirous Kitten gets baited by it and dies, so that's a huge blunder by NDSU. And Razzle Dazzler's thinking about going in here. The hyphy plays are here. The ults are popped, but the Nautilus lockdown is here. Stormstars goes in, ults the rest of the team away, but now Disabled Rat is alone. 1v2, but he cannot get taken down. This J4 is massive. 5-0. The Yuumi can't save them, but the Azir Tower is going to pick up the shutdown for Stormstars. So big shutdown, but that fight ultimately not really going the way NDSU had hoped. Jinx falls, J4 falls, but both mid towers fall, as well as a third charge on the inhibitor turret. So NDSU really falling behind here in the mid lane as far as towers go, but Stormstars, the man from Shurima, is going to have to carry NDSU as he is the only one with any gold on this team, honestly. I mean, everybody else is in a deficit. Flash comes out from Barca Iniesta. And it is a bit of a mid-gap this game. So we've been used to top gaps with these two teams, but this time around it's a mid-gap. Josh Peck is here for this Dragon. NDSU wants to contest this one. They feel like they're strong enough with all the resources used by SDSMT. J4 does not have ult up quite yet. No flash on any of them besides the Nautilus. But School of Mines definitely has control of the river, and this is exactly the scenario they want to play in. I mean, they are a team fight team, and NDSU, you need a flank if you're going to try to win this fight. I mean, this is so hard for them to walk in. They don't have a front line. So much poke goes down on the Edjo, though. He nearly gets blown up, but Josh Peck getting CC'd heavily. They're buying a lot of time, but Dragon's already fallen. Now SDSMT does not have to fight, but Stormstars cancels the J4 engage, but immediately gets blown up by Oriana ult. Now it's up to Razzle Dazzler to dish out the damage, but Edjo is not taking any. Razzle Dazzler trying to get out of that one, but he will fall. And that is going to be an ace for the School of Mines. NDSU, what are you doing? You do not have to fight that dragon. It's not even close to Soul, and you are not in any position to 5v5 this team that wants to team fight you. And honestly, with 15-second death timers, SDSMT can easily pick up this inhib, reset, and pressure Baron next. Not good decision making by NDSU there. As soon as that dragon fell, SDSMT honestly didn't even have to fight them, but NDSU shouldn't have even been there. They should have been sending people top lane, sending people elsewhere to push, get gold, because they're in no position to fight right now. Now 6k down. And they just don't have the items yet. I mean, Zeri cannot really carry until she has at least 2-3 items. I mean, Razzle Dazzler only sitting on his shield bow and a couple long swords. That is not going to be enough damage, even with Razzle Dazzler on 2 items, to cut through this team. I mean, the Gore Drinker heal from Disabled Rat in that fight was massive. Bought them so much time. He's sitting on 2 items. I mean, he's in a great spot. And the real difference maker here is just the jungle pressure that was put top lane. Josh Peck has not been able to really be a factor in this game. 0-4 on the Camille. I mean, he's doing some good trading here, but Edjo has flash and ult. Good dodge there by Josh Peck to get out of the counter strike. Meanwhile, Stormstars continues to pick up that gold. And now we see 4 members from SDSMT top lane. Can Desiros Kitten pick up the kill quick? He did not ult right away. What are you waiting for on the ult? And now Josh Peck's going to fall. Desiros Kitten has to flash out of the J4 ult, but small misplays, small decision-making errors by NDSU have just continued to compound. And now they're down 5k, 6k gold. And Baron's just going to get started up here. I mean, NDSU has no way to come into this, and this is exactly what I was worried about with their draft. You fall behind in this game. How do you ever walk into Fog of War? You've got a Nautilus, you got a J4, you've got a team that wants to 5v5 you. This is such a hard game for NDSU to play, and they honestly just got completely gapped in the draft. I'm not saying a different pick top lane would have saved them in this game, but an Ornn or something like that, even like a Scion, like, he still would have gotten counter picked, but I genuinely think that's something that could at least frontline for them more and like have some engage would have been a lot better for them. So I understand that Josh Peck is a great carry for them, but this is not the game that they needed the Camille. I just don't think it works. I don't think it works for them. I also think part of it is just the limited champ pool of Desiros Kitten. Doesn't seem like he can really play some of those more meta champions that are better in team fighting scenarios, and School of Mines, I mean, was kind of aware of that and probably just opted not to ban him out for that sole reason. Ping's coming down bot lane. 4 members from SDSMT, and they are playing their comp absolutely perfectly. Just group up. There's nothing more you have to do than that. And they can just walk right into the tower with this Baron buff and take the tier 2 in the bot lane. And NDSU wants to get some picks. They want to pick up some kills, but they just have zero vision. I mean, look at the vision control from the School of Mines. And this is also the double-edged sword of having a Yuumi. I mean, Yumi's great and all, but unless your ADC is like running around the map, you also are lacking in the vision that a support would normally have walking around the jungle. So, I mean, you can just see the gap in vision score on the supports. I don't know. Another thing that's interesting to me, the Siruskin does not have a sweeper. I guess that makes sense because if he sweeps wards, then he just gets spotted if he hits them. So maybe that's the philosophy behind it. I really don't play Evelyn, but that's kind of what makes sense to me because he can just kind of walk through wards anyways. But it definitely hurts the team when they're trying to clear out vision. They only have one sweeper and it's on their Yuumi. Just small things like that. There's obviously more pressing matters and tougher things NDSU has to deal with, but the vision is a big part of it as School of Mines starts up Dragon number 3 here. Up about 9k gold. They're going to pick that one up uncontested. And I would expect the School of Mines to be able to finish this game out in the next 5 minutes. No problem. Yeah, honestly, I think NDSU got baited into picking the Yuumi from the tournament. I don't think the tournament is a good gauge on how well a combo works. Also, in that tournament, they had a jungler that played frontline, very engaged. I mean, I'm not saying that his Yuumi is bad, but I just don't think it's the best thing they could have picked. And I don't know. I think they just baited themselves into a really bad comp. That's just the way it feels right now. They should have recognized it right away when the J4 Jinx got locked in that they needed more team fight. But instead, they just locked in the Evelyn and kind of dug themselves a hole. Just look at how much value Ultra Bag has this game compared to the Yuumi, though. I mean, I understand enchanters are good with Zeri, but this Nautilus, he's a frontliner. He has so much resist, so much vision control this game, and he can honestly just walk around himself if he really wants to. Sirius gonna get spotted out, and Edjo just jumps on him right away, but maybe he's gone too deep. Takes a lot of damage there from Stormstar. Stormstar's 3 items, has a stopwatch. I mean, this Azir is massive if NDSU can somehow find a fight to keep him alive. And honestly, in team fights, I would almost think that the Yuumi on the Azir would be better at this point, but I understand Yumi's passive, what is it, like best friends or something like that. Like, the longer you stay on somebody, the better the stats are. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but does kind of feel like Freshcut's been kind of AFK this game. I don't even know if he's used his sums much. I mean, we saw those first 2 fights bot lane, and you know, one at the Dragon, one with the J4 ult, and never used his sums there. So I would like to see him on something different next game. Game has kind of slowed down here. I mean, NDSU slowly trying to catch up and farm here, just hanging out in the base. But with Baron spawning in 30 seconds, we already see the map is very dark for NDSU in the top side there. Very, very dark in the top side. And yeah, School of Mines just waiting for the Baron to start. And NDSU nowhere to be seen. And they know they can't fight it. They have to wait for the School of Mines to just make a mistake at this point in the game. There is nothing NDSU can do to stop this. And essentially, they haven't been able to leave their own side of the map. I mean, they have no vision, so they can't push past that. And you see what happens when they try to. Josh Peck now getting spotted out. And honestly, just kind of greedy from Josh Peck to stay there. Orianna J4 ult pop for flash from Josh Peck, but I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know how NDSU wins this one. Jack's gonna back, reset, go bot lane. And School of Mines with 4 strong topside. They have the TP from the Jacks if they need it. They are just going to push in through the top lane here. Now Stormstars, if he can find some godlike Azir ult, maybe they can find a fight, but that is a shot in the dark right now. They are just going to opt to back. You know, honestly, I think School of Mines could have easily... That's the flash from Bark NES. I mean, School of Mines, you guys are strong as hell. Just push in there, man. I don't know what they're worried about. They could have honestly taken in-hit top there. But they opt to back, get their items. I mean, just look at the item gaps across the board. J4's up an entire item. So is Jax. Serious Kitten looking aggressively here, but he's just going to get bopped by J4. And that is what happens when you try to team fight against this team. NDSU didn't even have everybody there. Josh Peck wasn't even there. I mean, total lack of communication from NDSU. Looked like an absolute desperation play. And that is going to be game 1 as SDSMT marches down the map with Baron. Bounties on pretty much everybody's heads. Just overall, this was pretty easy to predict. I mean, their team fight comp, very easy to execute, and they pulled it off very well. So NDSU gonna have to go back to the drawing board with their draft in game 2. As Josh Peck tries to defend 1v5, but he is just gonna get blown up. Bark NES to picks that one up. And that is game. SDSMT leads by 1. So if we look at the damage charts there, look at the damage that Stormstars was able to do. He was trying his darndest that game. But it's just unfortunately not enough. I mean, they just had no frontline for him to buy him time. So pretty straightforward how that game happened. And hope the lobby's full. Let me in. There we go. All right, so we are getting right into draft here for game 2. Not wasting any time. So the Shen Band comes out against Josh Peck. Not going to give him his one trick. I shouldn't say one trick. This guy can play it all. Not going to give him his favorite champ. NDSU smartly bans away the J4. No more team fight comp, please. And yes, let me put the prediction results in there. There you are. There's your points, B-Med. Cassio still gets banned away, and it doesn't surprise me if NDSU doesn't ban the Jhin this game. I don't think Jin's that bad. School Mines opts to get rid of the Yuumi, so they don't want to see the Zeri Yuumi again, regardless. And there is the Xayah ban as expected. So we'll see if the School of Mines opts for another one of those team fight comps. I mean, there's the Jinx again. And there's plenty of other champions that they can do exactly what they just did with. And NDSU, they'll have to show if they can match it or if they can play their own style. But with the comp that NDSU picked, they had to win early, and they did not. It didn't really make a lot of efforts to change that. Varus hover here, very strong pick. And I like it. I like the Varus pick. We'll see what they decide to match it with. Varus often does pretty well with other ranged champions, but also the Thresh is a good option. Provides that safety with the Lantern, as well as pick potential with the hook. Good to see something a little different out of NDSU. SDSMT most likely just going to lock in that Nautilus again. It's going to be the Swain instead. Interesting. So I think this is something that we saw the last time these two teams played against each other. It worked for them in game one, but ultimately did not in the game to follow. And I believe they whipped it out in the mid lane, but I could be mistaken. And there's the Wukong. So another really strong jungler. Great for team fighting. I think Wukong is definitely S tier. And there's the Malphite for NDSU. So before SDSMT can ban it away, NDSU picks up some team fight tools for themselves. And now they will ban out top laners that counter Malphite. SDSMT should probably ban the Azir this game. I don't think they want to give that one over again. And it works well in team fights for NDSU. Looked very clean on the last game too, so shout out to Storm Stars. It's gonna be the Viban actually. Interesting. Don't want to get locked down. And I am curious to see what NDSU opts to pick in the jungle. Cirrus Kitten plays a little bit of Nocturne, I think. But it is going to be, it need to be something that can match that Wukong, or at least shut him down early. But we do need to see more out of Cirrus Kitten this next game, just to keep Disabled Rat out of the game. Because if Disabled Rat was just one step ahead the whole game. Jaxban comes in as well. Edjo looked pretty comfortable on that in game one. And the final ban here, if it's not Azir, they're trolling. We are on game 2 at the moment. So they banned the Evelyn. So putting in the respect ban for Evelyn, I honestly don't think NDSU wanted to pick it, and I'm honestly glad they can't now. No offense to Cirrus Kitten on the Evelyn, I just don't think it's going to work in this type of setting. And there is the Nocturne hover that I mentioned. They're thinking about it, and they are going to lock it in. So I hope NDSU understands how to play with Nocturne. And it's still a single target type of champion. It's still a pick type of champion. I mean, NDSU has a lot of pick. The Malphite's really the only one that's a big team fighter. But if they're able to get the Azir lock in, that would be big. I'm going to guess that the Swain is support, but really hard to tell. I forget if he's mid or support. It is going to be support. Okay, so they picked the Syndra, hoping that that's a good matchup into the Azir. But honestly, Iniesta did not look that great last game on the Orianna. I mean, he ended up having a pretty good KD in the end, but that was sort of just cleanup kills. But laning phase, definitely dominated by Storm Stars, who was massive on that Azir. Did the most damage in the game by quite a large margin. And then there's the Gwen, so another good pick in a Malphite. We'll see how practiced Edjo is on it. But Gwen definitely good into Malphite. AP champions in general are good into Malphite. And SDSMT has 3 of them. So, and honestly, the Wukong, pretty decent into Malphite too if he's in an extended fight. Who just posted like a Weezer album cover? I'm not sure if the other ones are Weezer, but I don't even know how you did that, B-Mid. So it's going to be the Vex instead. NDSU must suspect that SDSMT is happy with the champions they picked into an Azir. That's why they left it up. And Vex honestly doesn't have like the most insane value this game. I mean, it's pretty safe. The fears are always good. You know, there's a few dashes from Wukong, a few from Gwen, but it is still a comfort pick for Stormstars, and I don't know. He must not like the Syndra Azir matchup, but I definitely think that he's very strong on Azir, and I would have liked to see it again this game. But with the comp that we're seeing, NDSU should probably play towards bot side. I mean, go figure. Bot side is definitely the place to play around in this meta still. And they have a lot of tools to lock down this Jinx and Swain. Obviously, Jinx most definitely going to go cleanse this game, but I still think between Hook, Chains of Corruption, and Nocturne ult, I mean, they could wreak havoc here in the bot lane. And then Josh Peck just kind of plays safe top. But with that being said, we are ready to go into a brief break. And when we come back, we'll have game 2 for you. SDSMT leads by 1. NDSU looking to bounce back. All right, everyone. Game 2 coming in hot. I just had an epiphany while we were in the waiting. This could be NDSU's last game of the season. If they do not win this game, they do not go to the LAN, and they are knocked out of playoffs. This is do or die for NDSU. And I, for one, I really don't want to see them go down without a fight. Now, NDSU is 5-stacking as they walk to the river here. SDSMT not matching the 5-stack this time around. They do have Thresh Hook. They do have Storm Stars with the Fear ready to go. We'll see if they decide to invade, but, NDSU going in here. Looking for the pick, but Moitman is going to spot that one out, so they'll probably just look for a deep ward and back out. But I don't hate the draft. I don't hate it, but NDSU really needs to execute properly this game. I think SDSMT has still drafted themselves a perfectly fine comp. Still very good at team fighting. Definitely not as easy to pull off as last game, but we shall see. Now, NDSU has opted for the Pokevarus. As you see, he has gone Comet this game. So no on-hit this game. I don't think it's terrible, but they do need to play it properly. Disabled Rat brings the sweeper in there and pops the dance. So a little bit of BM there coming out from School of Mines jungler there. As he starts up his red buff. Now, Desirous Kitten not grabbing a leash on his blue buff. And Stormstar is hoping to have another strong game after what was potentially a 1v9 Azir performance last game. But ultimately, NDSU just got out drafted. Didn't have the front line this game. Different story. Josh Peck on the rock solid Malphite, hoping to put the team on his big old back one more time to put them to game 3. Because these guys want to play in the LAN, man. They want to play in person. Great hook there lands by Fresh Cut. Moitman already brought down a half health and already a good start here for NDSU's bot lane. And we'd love to see this guy on something that can make plays. Fresh Cut, he's really turned into a playmaker for this team, I think. He's done a great job stepping into the support role. And we don't want to see him on Yuumi. We don't want to see that shit. Meanwhile, Josh Peck just beating down on Edjo. Razzle Dazzler is going to get rooted in place here. The Ignite coming down from Ultrabug. They've got to take the fight. Wukong is there, flashes and responds with the Q. And now they look for Fresh Cut as well. Jinx continuing to hail in with the rockets. The W hits, but the hook under the tower from Fresh Cut might get a return kill. But it won't, and so unlucky for NDSU. The early gank from Wukong just seals the deal for Moitman getting that Jinx a kill. And Disabled Rat, just really great series so far, especially in these early games, just making his presence known. But Desirous Kitten at least getting something back, farming out his blue buff, trying to get something back for that play, but the damage has already been done in the bot lane. It looked so good from the start with Fresh Cut hitting that early hook, but no cleanse on Razzle Dazzler. You know, I don't hate the no cleanse, but I feel like there's enough tools from SDSMT that it would have been maybe a better pick this time around. I'm a little questionable on Razzle Dazzler's summoner choices and honestly build pass this series. Last game he opted to go for the armor pen instead of the more crit. Not that that really changed the outcome of the game, but every little part matters in these games. And NDSU now fighting from behind with that early gank bot lane. Now we do see Disabled Rat invading, gets a pink ward down, and now he's looking for a gank mid lane. Stormstars walks into this one, just uses Fear onto Barca Iniesta. He is going to get out of that one. Now he does have Ignite mid. Now meanwhile, Josh Peck putting the beatdown on Edjo. Edjo maybe not looking as comfortable on this Gwen pick. Obviously it's good into the Malphite, but not if you don't know how to play the matchup. And chat, you got to channel all your energy for the boys. This one matters, and they need to come back and win this game. Still early. can't make any assumptions too soon. Fresh Cut is going to walk into the chompers there, takes his health down about to 20%. So NDSU playing from the back leg early here, but oh, Fresh Cut just getting hit by everything there. And you know, it is a tough game for them. It is a tough game. Thank you for the raid, Dakota College Collegiate Rocket League. Appreciate that. Thank you all for tuning in. Fresh Cut lands the hook. Wukong still has W, but a lot of damage comes down. The rest of the team is here, and Desira's Kitten gonna pick that kill up. So great pick there by NDSU, and that is exactly what they need to do. That is exactly what the team is built around, this bot lane for the picks. For all of you tuning in, this is game 2 of CCL League of Legends. This is the play-in series to get to the in-person LAN in Rapid City in, what is it, 2 weeks. The weekend of the 15th. So NDSU, if they lose this game, they are out trying their darndest to fight back and punch their ticket to the LAN. And they need all the energy, all the good vibes coming their way because it is going to be an uphill battle. They do have a new jungler this game, this series. But things looking up after that play bot lane. Picking off Disabled Rat, who had an amazing game in game 1. Josh Peck looking like his old self, playing good and aggressive in the top lane. Up about 10 CS right now. And those pancakes just keep flying from the Malphite there. And Desira's Kitten looking to help out his top laner this game. Does not want a repeat of what happened last time. And they do have Malphite ults. They do have Nocturne there as well, but Edjo has his ult, has that W. Gwen is immune. Gwen is immune. No flash, but it's definitely a tough look if they want to try to kill this. And Desira's Kitten spending so much time up here in the top lane, and I really don't know if they have kill pressure, I'll be honest. Waiting for Edjo to just make that one step out of position, but it's just not going to happen. Desira's Kitten has been known to spend a lot of time doing this, and there it is, the pop! And they had the damage, so it worth the wait there for NDSU, and Josh Peck picks up the kill, and your favorite top laner is on the board, everybody. Big plays coming out there, keeping Josh Peck on top where he belongs. Meanwhile, Disabled Rat hovering bot lane, looking for a similar play, but NDSU's got that warded out for now, and they are just going to play safe. They don't need to do anything. Ooh, hook just misses from Fresh Cut there. And now we see pings coming from the School of Mines to go on to Dragon. Gold dead even, everybody. 8 minutes in. Very close game right now. Now School of Mines is going to pick up this Dragon. I don't think NDSU feels like they're in a position to contest yet. That is just fine. Now Desira's Kitten has ult on this Nocturne. Josh Peck opted not to TP top. Interesting decision there. But he has picked up his Sheen and his Steel Caps. So interesting buy there from Josh Peck on the Steel Caps. But obviously on Malphite, armor has more value than most champions. So probably his reasoning there, and ultimately when the time comes, he is going to be taking a lot of damage from Ointment and Disabled Rat, who are auto attack based champs. Josh Peck trying to keep control here, hitting all those last hits. Good stuff. And Disabled Rat just staying bot, just wants to gank bots so bad, and hopefully NDSU's bot lane is just fine playing safe, fine doing their thing. Desira's Kitten nowhere near bot lane, so they should know to just play it safe here. And they are playing very safe. And Disabled Rat wasting a lot of time. I mean, he's down 20 farm and he's still staying in the lane. I mean, the wave is completely pushed into the tower. I don't know what he's looking for here. I mean, he's got ult, he's got flash, but NDSU just Just needs to chill here. They just need to chill. But yeah, CS advantage in the jungle for Desiro's Kitten this game. Just able to kind of farm up. That gank in the top lane worked out, and Josh Peck just laying down the damage on this Malphite. Picks up those last 2 farm. Gold still very even in this game. Slight CS advantages in the mid and bot lane, but it's kind of evened out through the top side of the map. And this is kind of like opposite story of what happened last game. Top side was so weak for NDSU. This time around, kind of a different story. And we've seen this before, everybody. A little bit of deja vu. Waves in about the same spot, and Josh Peck just trying to get Edjo to walk up like he did last time. And I've seen this before, guys. I've seen this before. And Edjo has too, and I think he knows something's up. But we'll see if he tries to greed out. Oh, the suspense is killing me. When are they going to go in? There it is, everybody. Another blow up here, and I don't think Edjo's getting out of this one. Kill goes over to Desiro's Kitten that time, and just the patience. The patience from this top jungle duo, just very admirable. Meanwhile, Stormstars hits the fear, puts a lot of damage down on Disabled Rat, and how are we feeling, chat? NDSU feeling strong, but Razzle Dazzler flashes in 1v2. Does pick up the kill, but wow, that was very aggressive. Just pops the Youmuu's flashes, misses the Chains of Corruption. And I would have liked to see him do that when his support is in the area next time, because maybe they actually would have won that with an exhaust and a lantern, but feeling himself a little bit, you know? I don't hate it, you know? Bet on yourself in these sorts of games. I think even if he hits the chains right away there, though, there's no way he gets out of that alive. I mean, there must have been some communication between him and Freshcut, because Freshcut was all the way down in their jungle trying to take the blast cone over the wall to get there, and the timing was just way off. So he was nowhere near ready to follow up. And NDSU's bot lane definitely has not been a strong point for them, but it's going to need to be in this game if they want to win. Stormstar's forced to flash out there. Barca Iniesta completely I don't even know if he would have had the mana to follow up. So Stormstar is maybe not recognizing the situation there. Herald has been started up by SDSMT, but NDSU is collapsing here. Malphite ult not up quite yet. Can they look for the fight? And they want to look for it. Knock up from Wukong negates any more engage there from Josh Peck, so they're not able to stop the Rift Herald, and their timing's just a bit off, and Gold's still completely dead even here 13 minutes in. Plates are falling bot lane though, and if we look at the Gold bot, I mean, this Jinx is up about 800, playing pretty well. Got that 2v1 kill, I guess. Oh, and you right, let's get that zoom out. Good call, chat. Good call. Josh Peck picking up more gold off of those towers, and now the Nocturnal comes in, and the camp top lane is real, and it is working real well. And honestly, good thing for NDSU. Desiro's Kitten is getting these kills, because Nocturne loves getting kills early. So does Evelyn. And last game, he was not getting the kills early on the Evelyn, but this game, different story. The game plan for NDSU, honestly, I did not expect them to camp top lane, but it's working. The only problem I have with it is they're having to give up second dragon for this, and the people you want the gold on are also in the bot side of the map. I mean, Vex and Varus have very good pick potential between their ultimates, and NDSU hasn't really utilized those yet, so I would like to see more attention towards the bot lane now that Josh Peck is ahead. He's up about 1,600 gold right now. And SDSMT is going to pick up the first tower, so they're going to get a little bit extra gold there. Funneled in. Jinx sitting on about 1,300 gold. Has her Kraken Slayer completed. And I would like to see NDSU's bot lane just go mid at this point. Now, Herald got popped. That is kind of sus for me. I think it must have been a situation where it was despawning soon, but I would have liked to see the Cirrus Kitten come down and help finish that because they are going to get a charge. And SDSMT playing very aggressively in the bot lane here. Fresh Cut pathing very greedily there, and NDSU wants to collapse here. Barca Iniesta out of position, but they're not decisive enough, and Stormstars just gets blown up in the jungle. The Cirrus Kitten not using his ultimate at all. Razzle Dazzler trying to do damage, and now he comes in for the cleanup kill. But I would have liked to see the Nocturne ult a little sooner there. Flash ult from Ultra Bug, not enough to finish off those kills, so 2 kills for 1 in the favor of SDSMT as top tower falls. But tier 2 might fall as well here. NDSU, we're seeing a little bit of that lack of experience with each other. You know, the not the communication between the mid laner and the jungler. I mean, they could have just popped Barca Iniesta with a Vex Nocturne ult combo, but instead SDSMT just more decisive, and they get the kill for it. Barca just missed that scattering the weak, so not able to pick up a kill on Razzle Dazzler. Game still so even. Slight edge over to SDSMT, and they have 2 dragons. The Cirrus Kitten, this is where the macro game needs to come in. We need to see more attention bot lane. We need to see pick plays on these squishy carries of the School of Mines. And we see Fresh Cut on a really large roam here on Barca Iniesta. Is his team ready to follow up? Stormstars has his ultimate to follow up. He throws down the Lantern. Barca's already flashed. This should be a kill for NDSU, and great play by Fresh Cut. Oh no, he does not get out of the Jinx ult. So Jinx picks up another kill off of her ult. Josh Peck is too tanky for the bot lane of SDSMT to handle, and he does have his ult. So great job by NDSU to gift that kill over to Razzle Dazzler, but they end up trading 1 for 1 in the end. Okay. This is great. We see Wukong bot lane. There's no flash on this Swain, but where's the follow-up? Where's the Malphite ult? NDSU! And they don't want to overcommit under the tower, and again, that just looks like miscommunication from the players of NDSU. I guess they were worried of the Swain ult, maybe? Josh Peck looking top here, and maybe he was saving ult for another combo on the Edjo, but how many times do you need to kill this Gwen? It's not worth it. She pops the ult, she pops the ghost. Malphite ult is still up. They are going to use it, and she gets CC chained to death. Another kill going over to Josh Peck, but you got to shut down this bot lane, guys. There's bounties on the heads of the other teammates, and Edjo's easy pickings. That's great. But NDSU, they gotta look elsewhere. They gotta look elsewhere on this map. I mean, the pick on Barca was good, but they end up trading 1 for 1. So in the end of the day, not really worth. And Dragon's spawning now, and they're not gonna have Malphite ult for it. Dragon up in 45 seconds. I don't think Malphite is going to be up in time for that. And SDSMT has two dragons, so I mean, they're just TPing over to mid. They're going to start up Rift Herald instead, and NDSU honestly should just take this trade, all things considered. Barca Iniesta, though, not communicating with his team, maybe. Fresh Cut throws the hook too soon, but the ult from Vex will land, and that is a misplay by their mid laner. Unfortunately, Fresh Cut picks up that kill, but SDSMT, I mean, I don't know what Barca's doing there. I mean, his whole team is up topside now. NDSU is going to start up drag as soon as it spawns here in 3 seconds, and SDSMT thinking 1 step ahead. They say, oh, we're going to get Herald, and then we're going to pop a mid, and NDSU showing that both of their carries are mid. They're not taking Dragon that fast. So Herald popping mid, and now we have not a lot of damage in the mid area here, but Edjo getting picked off by Fresh Cut's hook, but now the needles are coming through. Cirrus Kitten pops the ult to try to buy him some time, but it's not enough, and NDSU miscommunicates, and they will fall. And come on, guys, Razzle Dazzler just walks in and gets himself killed, and it's all falling apart for NDSU. No. Guys. And honestly, well played by the School of Mines. They understood how much time there was on the map. They grabbed the Herald. NDSU just kind of sits in the river around Dragon, just waiting for it to spawn, not really doing anything. And then they send both of their carries mid lane so that SDSMT knows that there's no damage on the Dragon, so they can't burst it. And that just leaves them completely vulnerable at Dragon Pit to die. Now, Baron getting targeted down. Josh Peck does have ult here, and I think NDSU needs to fight here. Vex ult comes in. Malphite ult comes in. Do they have the damage? They haven't killed anybody yet. Now one falls, but it's just Josh Peck. It's just Fresh Cut. They don't have any more damage. The rest of the team is trying to come, but they don't have Nocturne ult. Varus is there. The Chains of Corruption hit, but there's no more follow-up. And the timing just off there. I like the attempt. They do pick up one kill, but it's just on the top laner. That champion's worth nothing to them anymore. And I have to just call out the fact that this Heroes Kitten just spending too much time top almost. You gotta get this Varus ahead, you gotta get this Vex ahead, or they're useless. And there were just no ganks bot lane. And reminder, this is do or die for NDSU. They lose this game, they are out of playoffs. They do not pass go. They do not collect 200. They do not go to the LAN tournament. So on their back heel here, 5k gold down, 3 dragons down, 6 and 2 Jinx on the other side with 2.5 items. Almost has that infinity edge. Looking at the gold across the board, it is a tough one for NDSU, and they just do not look like a cohesive unit this game. Still not over though. I mean, 5k gold is definitely a lot, but it is not insurmountable. I think NDSU still has the tools to come back into this game, but it's going to need teamwork, and we have not seen a lot of that so far this game. Now Jinx slightly out of position here. Fresh Cut gonna clear some vision here in the tri-bush. Now we see Wukong mid, we see Gwen bot, and they do not have the Nocturne ult to follow up top lane, but Barca out of position here. The Vex ult lands onto the Jinx. Where's the Malphite ult to follow? The Flash Malphite ult comes in. Barca goes in on the backline of NDSU, but Razzle Dazzler needs to help out. Jinx falls, Razzle Dazzler falls, and Stormstar's gonna have to flash out of there. Ultra Bug healing up so much, and they don't have any damage anymore, so they gotta get out of there. It's a 1-for-1, and now Ultra Bug flashing forward. Stormstars gets the shield, but ultimately burns away. Meanwhile, towers are falling on NDSU's side. And I don't know, man. This Varus pick just does not feel like it's doing a lot for me. He went Prowler's Claw and everything, and it's so tough, man. It's so tough. Stormstars and Josh Peck went so deep in that Razzle Dazzler could not get in there. Now, the Heroes Kitten going on Disabled Rat, but I don't think you win that fight, bro. He flashes out and just gets popped by Disabled Rat and Edjo. Now, Disabled Rat is completely out of position here. Nearly pops Razzle Dazzler. Razzle Dazzler misses the Q and dies because of it. That is just a complete misplay by him. And Josh Peck picks up the shutdown instead, and Razzle Dazzler just not looking like his normal self tonight. And when it matters, NDSU just not able to clutch up. Not for not trying, but Dragon spawning in 53 here. Everybody will be up, but I don't know if NDSU has the resources anymore. Down 6k gold. This is looking rough for NDSU, guys, but send the vibes, guys. As one NDSU nation, we gotta help them out. Send all of the vibes you have left because they need it. This last dragon fight is going to determine the series. And NDSU, it looked promising at the beginning of the game, but Disabled Rat pulling off some good ganks. NDSU does have control over the river, but what are they doing with it? They're just standing around again. Push up, clear some more vision, look for a pick. This Jinx has no sums bot lane, and Nocturne has ult. Jinx is out of position right now. I mean, NDSU should know this. But they're giving her time to reposition. Meanwhile, Barca Iniesta is pushing an NDSU. You gotta look for a play right now or it's gonna be too late. Nocturne flashes in, Malphite flashes in, Jinx is dead, Jinx is dead! Gwen is dead, but Swain is doing so much damage. Razzle Dazzler gets singled out by Disabled Rat and NDSU is out of damage. Stormstar's trying to survive, but he's completely mispositioned and he will fall. Josh Peck picks up the kill, trying to put the team on his back, but Razzle Dazzler, this Varus is just getting completely singled out. There's no one to help him out. And he has no kills either. And NDSU just has to give over the Chemtech soul for free after that fight. And oh man, this Wukong pick just... I mean, this has definitely been a better game from Desirous Kitten, but... Oh, and here he's just gonna die probably. Okay, he gets out of that one. What? Where's it? Oh, I'm getting scared. It's definitely a better game from Desirous Kitten, but I just genuinely feel like the champ pool is really hurting him this game. They needed team fight, and I don't think Nocturne or Evelyn are really the champions for that. I mean, he popped the Jinx that fight, but then what? That's the problem with this team. They have burst. But they got nothing after that. They got nothing left in the tank after the Swain and the Wukong are just beating on them. I mean, Josh Peck's the only one who can actually survive these fights. Oh, Hook just misses there. Jinx out of position here. The ults land, and she's going to get popped by Razzle Dazzler. That's exactly the pick they were looking for. Now, can they find a fight after this? Fresh Cut trying to get him down there, but the Gwen sees their backline in sights. Ultra Bug taking some damage, but he pops the ult, and now Razzle Dazzler getting singled out, and I have not seen the Thresh Lanterns on Razzle Dazzler at all. Oh my gosh, Edjo kills Stormstars before he can get his combo off, and they all just die. This Swain is so big, 6-0-10. And that's just going to be game. NDSU just looking so indecisive in all these fights. They get the good pick, and then they look like chickens with their heads cut off. No forward thinking from NDSU, and it just shows. I mean, the team fight in this series was just not there. I mean, I cut them some slack. The comp first game was tough, but School of Mines just playing very clean League of Legends into NDSU. They clearly know what they want, and they're always one step ahead of NDSU, if not 2 steps ahead. They pick up the 2 inhibs, they have soul, they're up 9k gold, they're itemizing correctly. I mean, these are all things that are important if you want to win games, and School of Mines showing NDSU how to do it. And NDSU will have one last chance to win this game if they decide to contest Baron. But I just look at the Razzle Dazzler in these fights, and he's getting completely singled out. His team jumps in, and he has nobody helping him. The Thresh Lanterns aren't there. The Lockets aren't there. I mean, he's squishy as hell. He's lethality. I mean, and he's bot lane right now. The rest of his team is topside thinking about contesting Baron, and there's nothing they can do. I mean, it's gone. So that's Baron buff. That's Dragon Soul. That's 10k gold advantage for the School of Mines, and they are all grouping top lane. This is exactly what they should be doing. Mid and bot inhib are gone. NDSU has only picked up 1 tower this whole game, by the way. 1 tower, no neutral objectives. And at the end of at this point, it doesn't matter how much farm the Nocturne has. I mean, he has more than Disabled Rat, but Disabled Rat is way more impactful in these team fights, and Fresh Cut just gets picked off. Now Wukong goes in with the ulti. Do they have the damage to knock him down? The Scattering the Weak hits on 2. Stormstars misses the ult, and Disabled Rat with this Death Dance just will not die. And NDSU on their last legs trying their darndest, but they get clean aced. And that's going to be the game. Super's pushing in every single wave. Bounties once again on everybody's heads. Great game out of Ultra Bug. And that's it. That's all she wrote. 2-0 SDSMT just commanding victories. Both games. And that is all she wrote, guys. Unfortunately, NDSU falls to SDSMT. I think they looked a lot better this time around. And unfortunately, that is going to be it for NDSU. I don't think there's any consolation bracket or anything. I really appreciate everybody tuning in, supporting the guys. Not the outcome we were looking for, unfortunately. Josh Peck trying his darndest, man. He did the most damage in the game as a tank. That's nuts, man. But it's been a really fun season. I really enjoyed following this team around. They really played their hearts out. You could see them trying. I mean, they made it close in the end. But kudos to School of Mines. They earned this one. 2 very good games out of them. So yeah, thank you all once again for tuning in. Probably not going to do an interview. I'm sure the guys are not feeling the best after that series. And you got to cut them some slack. You know, I think the Cirrus Kitten did a great job coming in, trying his darndest. It's not easy filling in, especially in a high-pressure scenario like that. So kudos to him for trying his best to fill in. I think he looked a lot better in Game 2. So you got to take a little bit of that loss with, you know, understanding that they hadn't played together much. And you could see it, you know, you could see it in their gameplay. A few scenarios where it didn't look like everybody was quite on the same team, same page there. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to give us a follow if you haven't already. And that'll be it for us. So we'll see you at the next stream. Maybe it'll be a tournament. Maybe it'll be some little pop-up LAN. Who knows? But until then, I'm Dan Gaddy Boy. Peace out.